Well, I want to welcome you to Experience Life. Also want to welcome those of you watching via video at Church Online or one of our other West Texas campuses or maybe region-wide on TV. We're glad you guys are with us as well. My name is Gwinn. I'm the worship pastor here at our Southwest campus, and I am very excited to get to share with you guys something that is coming up church-wide here at Experience Life. It's going to be an amazing event I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. At Experience Life, you hear us talk all the time about next steps. We talk about them every single weekend. And next steps are just those things that we've seen to be true in our own lives, and we believe Scripture talks about ways for us to grow in our relationship with God. What's your next step? We say that all the time. What's your next step in your relationship with God? One of those next steps is volunteering or serving. And we're serious about that. We believe that, if you're not serving on a regular basis, you're missing out on what God has for you. You're missing out on His best. We believe that the Bible teaches us very clearly that if we're going to be Christ followers, that we're supposed to be loving each other and serving each other and trying to do what we can to meet everyone's needs. And I want to start today with the words of Jesus Himself. So if you have a Bible, you can turn to John chapter 13. If you don't have a Bible, or if it's one of those that when you open it and read it, you're like, what in the world did that just say? You probably need one of these. This is an easy to understand translation of the New Testament. They're free to you. They're in all of our campus lobbies, so grab one on the way out. But again, this is Jesus talking, John chapter 13. And He's talking about the way that we should be living as followers of Him. He says this, "So now I'm giving you a new commandment. Love each other. Just as I have loved you, you should love each other. Your love for one another will prove to the world that you are my disciples." So He says, love each other. That's the way the world's going to know that you're mine. Now, I don't know that He's saying here that, okay, we should be thinking, I'm a Christian now, so I guess I better start loving people because that's what Christians are supposed to do. I think He's saying that if we're truly His and we truly belong to Christ, we're going to naturally love people. Like it's going to be kind of what our life produces, kind of as a byproduct of our relationship with Him. We're going to love each other, and the world's going to look at us and go, they're followers of Jesus because look at the way they love each other. Now, Jesus has a brother named James, and James goes a little further with this. He pulls no punches here. James chapter 2, this is James' letter to some Christians. He says, "What good is it, dear brothers and sisters, if you say you have faith, but don't show it by your actions? Can that kind of faith save anyone?" So you see, faith by itself isn't good enough. Unless it produces good deeds, it is dead and useless. Whoa, think about that. So he's saying, unless your faith produces good deeds, it's dead, useless. Now again, I don't think he's saying, okay, you have to do enough good deeds to be saved, right? That's totally what he's not saying. I think he's saying here, if our faith is true, and we are really followers of Jesus, again, our lives are going to produce things like good deeds, good works, helping others in need. And all that is driven by what Jesus talked about, our love for other people. Okay, so just saying you're a Christian doesn't make you a Christian. Neither does coming to church. Just the fact that you come to church doesn't make you a Christian. Reading your Bible doesn't make you a Christian. And now, if you'll allow me to, I want to demonstrate this in a really, really stupid way. Okay, bear with me for just a second. I'm going to get, let's go in here. Why are you laughing at me? Okay. I'm Batman. Or should I say, I'm Batman. Anybody else think these masks are like totally creepy? It's like the eyes, right? I like to sneak up behind my wife and just stare at her until she turns around. In case you're wondering, these are my son's costumes. That's why they're tiny. Plus, I'm enormous. I'm bigger than you think. So, having this costume on, I feel pretty confident all of a sudden. I feel very dark and mysterious. I feel like there's some bad guys that need whooping up on. But wearing the costume, assuming, of course, Batman's a real person, and we all know that he is, right? Wearing the costume doesn't make me Batman. Wearing the costume doesn't make me a superhero. I know there might be some kind of comic book nerd in the corner somewhere going, okay, First of all, Batman's not a superhero. He's just like a really rich ninja guy that has a lot of toys. Okay, that's a argument for another time, but me wearing the mask doesn't make me Batman. I'm feeling really stupid all of a sudden, so I'm going to take it off. It occurs to me, though, that I might be the first person in the history of the world to preach a message wearing a Batman costume, so that's something you can tell your friends about. But in the same way, being a Christian has nothing to do with the things that we do. It's about our faith in Jesus, and what are the things that faith is producing in our lives? Is it producing love for others? Is it producing good works? We have to have a desire to help those in need if we're truly going to be followers of Jesus. Our faith must produce good works. Like faith and service, they go together. Like PB and J, like Chris and computers, like Clayton and protein shakes, right? They're inseparable. Faith and service. Our faith has to produce that if it's really a true faith. But here's the problem, right? We're supposed to be trying to meet people's needs, but the need is so great. It's overwhelming. Think back to what life must have been like for your great-great-great-grandparents or even further back. They had needs, they had tragedy, but the needs that they knew of were in their immediate family or their community there, people that they knew personally. We, in these days, are bombarded with need, like it's everywhere we turn. Think about it for just a second. Everywhere we look, I mean, the 24-hour news cycle, we're hearing about wars and genocide and famine and lack of clean water, disease. It's everywhere we turn. Commercials. Even our social media, we're friends with a lot of people. We bear their needs. We hear the things that are going wrong in their life and tragedies that they experience. And it's everywhere we turn, the need is so very great. And we weren't designed to be able to handle that much need. And in case you're not completely depressed yet, let me go ahead and push you over the edge. I'm going to share with you some stats. Okay, these are ones that apply to our area here that we own, especially as Christ followers. And there's a lot of them, so I want you to read them with me on the screen. We're going to run through them quickly. Lubbock was ranked number 6 on the Forbes list of the most dangerous cities in the United States in 2011. Ranked number 1 in Texas for STD and teen pregnancy rates. Total estimated number of orphans worldwide, 153 million. Children in foster care in the U.S., almost 400,000. Those in foster care waiting to be adopted, over 100,000. Children who aged out of the foster care system last year in the United States, over 26,000. In Region 1, that's our region, over 1,500 kids in foster care as of May 2014. Of those, 350 kids waiting for adoption. In Lubbock, 412 kids in foster care as of May 2014. And of those, 136 kids in care waiting for adoption. Sex trafficking in the United States is a $3 billion a year industry. 300,000 United States teens become victims of sex trafficking every single year. In 2013, 3 out of 5 child sex trafficking victims saved by the FBI in a nationwide raid were from the foster care or group homes. Every 2 minutes, someone in the United States is sexually assaulted. 25% of human trafficking happens in Texas. 3 known sex trafficking rings here in Lubbock. 842 million people, or 1 in 8 people in the world, do not have enough to eat. There's over 300 homeless people in Lubbock. More than 3 million children are reported as abused or neglected in America every year. Over 270 children died in Texas alone last year from child abuse or neglect. The unemployment rate in Lubbock is 5.5%, and 22% of Lubbock people are now living below the poverty line. Folks, that's a lot of need. Is that not overwhelming to you? If you think like me, I'm like, what in the world can I do to change all of that? And you're probably right. What can we really do to change the problems of the world, to solve them? There's not a whole lot we can do. But Experience Life, we have adopted a new motto called "Do for One." Because see, here's the problem: we aren't built to be able to process all this. So our response then becomes we get numb to it. Is that what happens to you? You kind of start tuning it out. You turn it off. Like your heart kind of gets calloused to those needs. Like if it was a channel, you would change it. We get numb to the need because it's so very, very overwhelming. Paul gives us some encouragement in Galatians chapter 6. I want to read this to you. He says, let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we'll reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. So he's saying, don't get tired of doing the right thing. I know it's overwhelming. I know our tendency is to get numb to the need, but as followers of Jesus, we can't afford to do that. We have to hang in there. Don't give up. Don't get numb to the need. And so we've adopted this saying right here, do for one. Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. Yeah, we can't help everyone. We can't by ourselves, put a dent in all of these stats. But if we all did for one what we wish we could do for everyone, think about the difference that would make. Here's another way to say it. We aren't responsible as Christians for doing something for everyone, but we are responsible for doing something for someone somewhere. We're responsible for doing something for someone somewhere in some capacity. And so I asked our For the City folks to kind of send me some things that eLife has been doing over the past few years that's trying to do for one. And what are some ways that we as a church are trying to combat the stats that we just read to you? And the things that they sent me back were amazing. Like there's some of the stuff in here that I didn't even know was going on, and you might kind of find the same to be true with you. But I'm going to read them to you, some things that we've been doing as a church, again, over the past couple of years. There's going to be some corresponding pictures on the screen, but I want you to kind of listen to the ways that we're striving at Experience Life to do for one. The first is in our life transformation groups. These are small groups that meet in homes all across the area. Our LTGs serve together each semester. Many of them have adopted a local mission partner. This past Easter, one of the LTGs hosted an Easter party at Buckner's Children's Home. They said it was a great experience because it exposed some of the couples in our group for the first time to foster care. They never realized the need for people to get involved and love on these kids. The next one's Irvin Elementary. For the past 4 years, eLife has adopted a school on the east side of town. We've donated school supplies, thrown Christmas parties, built relationships with the teachers. We have LTGs who serve in classrooms. In fact, one of our eLife families began mentoring a student they met during a service project. They've already made a huge impact as they consistently give their time to the student, an eLife family that is doing for one what they wish they could do for everyone. Hope Chest. For the past 3 years, eLife has partnered with the Lubbock Transition Center and hosted a special event for foster youth who are graduating high school and aging out of the foster system. The volunteers who have helped out have been so impacted that many of them continue to serve the Lubbock Transition Center and sponsor the kids. Sex trafficking. For several years now, we have been invested in raising awareness for sex trafficking by partnering with organizations like the Rape Crisis Center. We have eLifers who are ministering to women in jail who have come out of that industry, and we have eLifers who are working with the city and other organizations to build a safe house in Lubbock for trafficking victims. Orphan and foster care. We at eLife are very committed to caring for the orphans and supporting the foster care system. We've collected shoes for orphans and diapers for foster families. Since our One Less Orphan series last November, we've seen 40 families get licensed to foster, and we now have dozens of people who are now mentoring foster children and youth. We have LTGs who are consistently serving foster families, and we are in a group called One Heart Orphan Care Alliance, where we are partnered with 15 other churches in Lubbock to help support the foster care system. Listen to this. Agencies tell us they're seeing an increase in the number of people interested in adopting or fostering. And this is amazing. Hopefully it makes you get excited. We've heard a report recently from CPS that the number of children waiting to be adopted in Lubbock is actually decreasing. How amazing is that? That's amazing. So you see, we're impacting the stats as people like you and me get involved and do for one. It makes a difference. We can be a part of that change in this area. And if you've been around for any number of years, we've done some citywide projects called Servolution, and they've been just an amazing way that our church has been able to go out and serve our community on a large scale. And I'm excited to tell you guys that this weekend we are launching a brand new initiative for the city called Project One. And to tell us more about Project One, I'm going to bring out Jill Heflin. She's our local missions director. You guys give Jill a hand as she comes out. And for those of you that don't know, Jill is actually my sister. We have sung together our whole life, so most of the time people think that we are married. We are not married. We are brother and sister.
Thankfully.
Yeah, and she declined my request to come out in a Catwoman costume, so boo on her. So Jill, tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Thanks, Brandon.
Yeah.
No, but I'm here to tell you about what's going on in our city, how eLife is invested in serving our community. And if you've been around eLife for very long, just like Brandon was sharing with you, we love to get out into our communities and serve. And one of the ways that we've done that, as you've heard, is through an event called Servolution. Servolution, over the past several years, has been one of our largest church-wide outreach events. And so I just want to share some fun facts about Servolution and how it's impacted our city. It started in 2010. We went out as a church together for 7 days in a row, and we were able to serve our city. We partnered with 10 nonprofit organizations. We had 18 projects that people could get involved with. We had 300 people that signed up to be part of Servolution that year, and we served our city for over 2,000 hours. And then the next year, in 2011, Servolution grew as more people got involved. We went out for 11 straight days that year, and we served 14 organizations. We had 24 service projects that people could sign up for. And we had 547 people that year that stepped up to get involved in serving our city, and we were able to serve 6,000 hours. It was really exciting. And then in 2012, Servolution just kind of blew up this year as more people just joined in, and we went out for 2 days that year. Instead of coming to church one weekend, all of our campuses in Lubbock canceled services. Instead of coming to church, we went out and served our city. We were able to partner with 22 organizations. We had 45 service projects going on for those 2 days, and look at that. 1,600 people volunteered with Servolution that year, and we served our city over 7,000 hours. It was just an incredible event, so much fun, and I'm so excited that this year, today, this weekend, we are launching our annual church-wide outreach event called Project One, and it's just going to be an amazing event that I hope that you all will be a part of. Project One is just like Servolution. We have tons of service projects going on the month of August that you all can be part of. We have over 40 ways that you can serve our city, and they're all listed in your brochure that you got when you came in. But I just want to, before we talk a little bit more about that, I want to share some emails that we've gotten from some volunteers that have served our city and just how that experience impacted their life. And I love getting stories from people of how they are serving and what it's doing for them. One lady wrote to me. She said, during our project at the school, I had a mother come up to me, give me a hug, and thank me for all that we do. Her son goes to Wheatley, and she said without our help, she did not know how she would make it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share the love of Christ with others. And then I just want to share one more email that I got, and this may be one of my favorite emails that I've gotten over the years, and I get tons of stories. But I just love what this person has to say. She said, "This by far is the best thing I have ever been a part of. We had a great team. We were strangers coming together for one purpose. And by the end of the day, it felt as if I was working alongside my family. I will never be able to express in words just how much I was touched by this experience. But I know that because of this project and this ministry, my husband and I are becoming closer to the Lord and closer as a couple." And I hear this over and over and over every time we go out and serve our community or someone gets to experience what it's like to give to somebody else for the very first time maybe in their life. Just that life-changing experience that comes when you serve others. And so I'm excited to launch that today, Project One. It's going to be amazing. And you have that brochure. You can go ahead and pull that out. We have all of our projects listed in this brochure. We've got over 40 ways that you can get involved in serving our city. You can find these online as well. So I just encourage everyone to browse through the brochure, go online, and find some place to plug in to serve our city this year. Signing up for any of these projects is so easy. We have several ways to do that. You can go out to our lobby and sign up at our table, or you can go online to experiencelifenow.com. And once you do that, once you go to our website, you will find the Project One button that's located on the bottom of the screen. And you can see what that's like there. So once you click on that button, it'll take you to our Project One page, and you just click on Find a Project. And then you can just see all of the projects lined up there. And we have just a wide variety of projects going on, so something for everybody. It might be a little hard for you to choose, but we've made it easy by some search options. You can search by day, or you can search by the type of project that it is. And we just have so many fun projects going on. And I just encourage everyone to find a place to serve this year with us through Project One. I also want to point out we have some great volunteer t-shirts available at our resource centers. They're only $6. That's a great deal. So stop by our resource center and pick up a couple of shirts if you would like. But that's Project One, and I hope that you all will just get involved this year, be part of it, and don't miss this opportunity to be part of something bigger than yourself. Because I've experienced this for myself. You know, when you can get outside of your own world and kind of, lay aside your own needs, lay aside your own struggles and your own wants and your own agendas, God can really do something amazing in our hearts and in our lives through that process. And serving is not just for those that we are serving, the ones being served. God wants to do something radical in your life through this process. So I encourage you to just, find a way to serve, find someone to reach out to, and just maybe you can be the one that makes a difference and brings change to somebody else's life. I want to show you a video of some stories from some volunteers that have been impacted by getting involved in For the City and serving in different ways. And I also want you to hear from some of our local mission partners and hear what they are doing in our community to make a difference. So take a look at this.
Arrow Child and Family Ministries is a foster care adoption organization.
Buckner Children and Family Services, we transform the lives of vulnerable children along with building strong families through Christ-centered values.
The main thing with Backyard Mission that we want to do is let people know that they have a God that knows them, sees them, loves them, and has come to meet their need.
And our vision is to just educate the community first and foremost in the church about the needs within foster care. There's this whole population of kids that need great homes. And then from that to move people to action.
For the City events is a lot more than just volunteering for a few hours. It's an opportunity to expose the love of Christ.
Ultimately, my heart for seeing a movement within this community in this region is really to see the church be the leader of that. When we look worldwide, there's only one organization that has the manpower, the resources, but not only that, the mandate to do something, and that's the church.
Volunteers are so important to Buckner just for the simple fact that we don't have that much hours in a day to do everything. So volunteers come in and they do the things that we just don't have time to do.
I've participated in the Children's Home Christmas parties for the foster and adoptive parents.
I had an opportunity to take part in Bless a Block. We would go from house to house and we would knock on these different doors and talk to different people. And now they didn't know at all that we were going to be doing this. So we knocked on the door and we said, hey, we just wanted to have the opportunity to show you some of the love that God has shown us in our lifetime.
And so volunteer support, first and foremost, allows us to do more for our families. It allows us to show them more support, and really it affirms to them that, hey, you're okay and you're doing the right thing. And look, there's this whole body that's surrounding you saying, we believe in you. We may not have the call to do what you're doing, but we have a call to support you in this process.
They're their answer to their prayer. They're not praying about some deep theological issue. They're praying about a hole in a roof, or they're praying about a door that got broken into, or a lock that doesn't work, or the fact that they need storm windows. That's their prayer. And then we get to go out there along with the volunteers and be the answer to that prayer. And that's a pretty neat thing to happen.
I just challenge people who have never volunteered or who don't know very much about foster care or who Buckner is to come out and learn about us. It'll make a world of a difference in just interacting with our kids, getting to know one of them, because there are a lot of misconceptions about foster care that really aren't true. It's an amazing program. People who come in just absolutely love it. So I just challenge you to come out and just learn about it.
Look at your heart, what touches it, and then serve in that way. And if what we do, if you enjoy home repair and you have a heart for the elderly, then come play with us, And if that's not your deal, then don't, It's all about everybody finding their part and going and having fun and serving.
I always often think of, if I had 2 days left on earth, how would I spend that? A lot of people say with family or friends, or living out their bucket list, or just their own agendas. I think of Jesus, who spent his final 2 days serving others, and that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be like. I want to give up my own agenda for God's agenda, which means serving others.
Isn't that awesome? You guys excited about Project One? So let's go back to Galatians 6 for a minute. It says, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. And at just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Therefore, whenever we have the opportunity, we should do good to everyone, especially to those in the family of faith. So don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Don't become numb to the need. But whenever we have the opportunity, let's try to live out our faith, live out that love that Christ has shown us. Let's love other people, and let's do what we can to meet the needs, doing for one what we wish we could do for everyone. Guys, this is your opportunity, Project One. It's all laid out in front of you, the easiest way ever to get involved and to try to make a difference. And I know probably some of you right now are making excuses, Like, I'm so busy, I don't have time for this kind of thing. Well, lucky for you, these 40-something projects are stretched out across 16 different days of service. And so I promise you can find something that works for you. Maybe you can't physically serve, but we have ways that you can help financially. Maybe you've got like 14 kids and you're like, how in the world am I ever gonna serve with all these kids? Well, we have projects specifically designed for the whole family. You can just search that up on the website. There's literally no excuse. And think about this. Just look around the room. There's a lot of people that call Experience Life home, thousands and thousands of them. Imagine if every single one of you decided to do for one, decided to sign up for projects and make a difference in this community. That would be a powerful thing. We could see these stats change. But beyond that, if you and I would do for one as individuals, like if we would get involved and start showing the love of Jesus to people that need it, that one person that you're investing in, their life will be changed forever. And that is a powerful thing. That is why we were put on this earth. And so what we're gonna do is at all of our campuses, we're gonna sing a song about getting outside of these walls and serving people and showing the love of Christ to people. And during that song, I wanna invite you just to stay seated and take this brochure that's in your chair, open it up. There are 4 different panels of projects that you can look through. And as we sing, I want you to go through, find one that meets your needs or the days that you can serve or your skill set or whatever. Find it and circle it. Maybe it's more than one. Maybe you can find 2 or 3. Maybe you want to sign up for all 40 something. That's great. More power to you there. But find the ones that you're going to work with and circle them. And then I want to challenge you today, don't waste time with this. Today, go home, get on your computer and sign up. Don't let yourself don't let time go by and wait till tomorrow and let yourself kind of forget and become numb to the need all over again. Do it while it's fresh, while it's on your mind. Sign up for something. And then, as kind of an added step of your commitment and also to challenge others to get involved, I want to invite you to go to social media, to Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and tell the world what project you're signing up for. Like, I'm helping with this project on this day, and challenge somebody else. They don't even have to go to this church, man. Just challenge your friends to sign up and help the community. They don't even have to be a Christian. Serving the community is an awesome thing. And then hashtag Project One. And let's get the word out about this. We don't want to be known in Lubbock just as a big church full of people that only care about themselves. Like, we're all about living out what the Bible teaches us. And we want to be known as a church in this community that cares about people and that is committed to helping those in need and sharing the love of Christ. And I guarantee you, if we'll continue to keep that as our focus, we will see these numbers in our area continue to change. So I'm going to pray, and you're going to have a chance to look through the brochure and just let God work on your heart. Ask Him to lead you to the project that you need to be part of. God, we thank you so much for the opportunity that we have to love other people. God, forgive us for being calloused and for being numb to the need that's around us. We don't want to be that way anymore, God. We admit it's overwhelming, but God, I pray that we would all look for opportunities to do for one what we wish we could do for everyone. And through Project One, God, I pray that this would be just a monumental event in the life of our area. God, do something in this city and in Amarillo. God, use us. Use us. Thank you for the opportunity that you've given us to be a part of what you're doing here. In your name, amen.
Thanks for checking out one of our messages today. For more information about our church or to watch other messages, you can go to our website at experiencelifenow.com. Let us know if we can serve you in any way, and we hope to see you real soon.